Total Retail, in partnership with Fidel, is proud to announce the release of its latest research report, Customer Loyalty in a Fragmented Retail Market: How Retailers Can Leverage Data to Create Long-Term Relationships with Their Customers. To download your free copy of this report, go to mytotalretail.com/resources.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello and welcome to Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the Editor-in-Chief of Total Retail. Today I am joined by Ismail Ozakour, who is the CEO of Oz Medical Supply. We're going to talk to Ismail today a little bit about supply chain, the challenges and kind of any changes that they've made at Oz Medical Supply during the COVID-19 crisis, and just talk a little bit about their business and how it's evolving during this time. So thanks for joining me, Ismail.
Glad to be here, sure.
So let's start by having you briefly tell our audience a little bit about Oz Medical Supply.
Well, Oz Medical Supply started roughly about 4 years ago. I do have a background in a different company for the last 15 years in the medical supply distribution, both in the retail segment and as a manufacturer. So I dealt with a lot of distribution internationally or domestic. Started my own company 2016, California, East Bay. And our primary focus is primary care and long-term care in the local area, as well as we have a pretty good existence in the e-commerce platforms as well. We do have several accounts on Amazon. We have accounts on eBay. We are selling on our websites. So a little bit of everything that we're doing, but our primary product portfolio is health and beauty and some medical supplies.
And how long, so you're a supplier, but also direct to consumer through your own site and then through those other platforms as well? You mentioned Amazon and eBay.
Correct.
And tell us a little bit about your customers. Is it, I guess, I would imagine, pretty widespread between genders and ages and races? You probably pretty much cover everyone, right?
We pretty much do. If you just segment it into two categories, about 60% will be business to consumer end users. About 40% of our business goes to the commercial market that includes like dental offices, doctor offices, hospitals, jails, and states, and all that stuff. So business to business. But about 60% due to our product portfolio, I would say about 50 plus percent goes to an older population, because we do specialize in incontinence care for the older population, and also personal cream, personal cleaning supplies with that too. And then the rest goes to the entire actually dynamics of the population. Just we do have quite a few of those.
So that provides a good context for our audience and for our discussion today, and gives us a little bit of better sense of the Oz Medical Supply business. So as I mentioned when I introduced you, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of how coronavirus has impacted the business for Oz Medical Supply. So maybe you could start by just addressing some of the challenges that may have emerged over the last 6 to 8 weeks as we've been kind of dealing with this epidemic and crisis.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm grateful to be in the segment that we're in, because we have unique challenges that some other, sellers out in the different marketplaces are having. We do have more demand than we can actually supply to the customers. So that is a unique challenge. Product sourcing is one of the biggest challenges it has been for the last 6 weeks. And personally, I just don't see that, easing out anytime soon, especially in certain lines of the products. But that 40% business that I mentioned, I may have lost access to 60% of the items that we were moving to those offices, to anywhere. I mean, the dentals or the doctors or the states or the prisons or whatnot. That products are either on allocation or products don't exist anymore as far as stocks goes. And we work with the largest distributors in the country, and with Yet Along, actually, they are the largest ones in the world. So we are very limited to what we can source, allocations or out of stocks. So if you ask me one word, what's the biggest challenge that we're having is sourcing the products and still is actually.
Yeah. So to your point, your challenge is unique, and it's different than a lot of other direct-to-consumer and suppliers are seeing right now, where they might not have the demand. You have the demand. It's sourcing the product. So kind of a follow-up to that is, okay, you've identified this, what the issue is. Any solutions that you've tried to put into place to address those supply challenges right now?
So yes, luckily we've been working pretty long time with the distributors and the manufacturers that we have been working, and we were able to, secure some of the stock. But then once our demand became more national, we have to employ some diversification and agility in our fulfillment system. For, let's say, specifically talking about FBA, I mean, if we had just relied on that, that will be, somewhat of a downturn, because Amazon made significant changes with their FBA modeling too. A lot of things were not being, processed properly, not being, received properly, or they were put on priorities. So we have used a partner that I have met about a year ago, someone named Kahoot, a partner solution named Kahoot. They helped us significantly to kind of diversify our fulfillment process. We do have two our own, distribution centers, but Kahoot is a peer-to-peer distribution or partner networking that I tapped into their system, and I was able to ship products to my partners or Kahoot partners warehouses that we were able to get to our end users a lot faster with, utilizing their automated system. And by doing so, we were able to save a lot of time and effort and, resources as well. So one of the resource issues that we had, for example, one item was out of stock in West Coast. So we couldn't get them into the West Coast, but item was available in the East Coast. So this partnership allowed us to utilize the partners in the East Coast and send the products that we can secure from the distributors and be able to serve the East Coast customers from the East Coast. So that on-demand fulfillment network kind of like saved us a significant amount, and still kept us going, until the time being, to be able to serve our customers.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And helpful to the businesses, that kind of demand and is so high right now.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit then about specifically the adjustments you've made as you've seen this surge in online demand for your products during the pandemic. Maybe you want to talk about any adjustments you've made to the business, whether it be changes to the supply chain, changes to your product lines, or your website itself, the merchandising strategies. What are some of the adjustments you've made to kind of keep up with demand at this point?
Well, we did actually every day. Sometimes we have to make changes, depend on the availability of the product. So one of the main adjustments that I have done is the focus group, or both the focus group of the customers and focus group of the products that we are sourcing. So once, for example, we do significant amount of disinfectants and hospital grades or the medical grade disinfectants pre-pandemic. That was one of our biggest things, and we do have quite a few customers that we will, and those products don't exist right now, or we cannot, or we have limited access to them. So we had to diversify our, focus to other product lines, whatever is made in US, whatever we have access to, or whatever that we don't get issues getting them from our distributors or from manufacturers. So our product focus have shifted if compared to what we were doing in December or, early parts of January. Right now if I pull the data and I look at the things, and there's the names of, or the number of SKUs that we were moving, or our go-to products, have shifted significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So the changing our focus on the product group and changing our focus with that into the, the customer focus kind of helped us to steadily continue the business that we are doing, that we are accustomed to do. So
Have you seen a shift in, you mentioned kind of the breakdown of B2B business versus kind of a B2C business. The consumer business, the demand there is kind of spiked. And do you foresee that kind of shift continuing to remain true once we've kind of gotten past this pandemic, or do you see that kind of flattening out a little bit, consumer demand for the product?
it may flatten out a little bit, but what happened was, that's the primary reason. A lot of these folks, I'm referring to, like, let's say a major portion of our business is the, let's say, adult incontinence lines. A lot of these folks, they had caregivers, or they had, loved ones. They used to procure these items to them from a physical, brick and mortar store. But now, when those things got shut down, or when they don't want to go out and get something for a pack of brief or a box of liners for their elderly relatives, everyone got into the online world and tried to procure them for the persons that they are caring. This may stay the same way once people, because this is also a very interesting market. To once someone likes a product, and once someone is using a product, they don't want to change it. And once they get into a source that they can get this product, whatever time frame they're needing, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, they tend to stand that way. So for that part of group of products, adult incontinence, I don't see the trend changing a lot. It may go down a little bit because people, still be going out and about and like to get their stuff, but that won't change. The business probably will increase in the medical world as more offices are being opened, more, chiropractor offices, more dental offices, more doctor's offices, or more vet offices are being opening. And then we will go back to, providing and also with the availability of the products, let's say, the clinical products that we can procure, that business will also increase as well. But as far as the way that the things have shifted, I just don't see the curve going down, pre-pandemic. I see maybe just a little bit, but this is going to stay this way for a foreseen future. That's my opinion.
And to your point, do you forecast when these the demand in your B2B side of the business, when these chiropractors offices and the dental offices and these businesses are slowly beginning to reopen? I would imagine there's going to be some pent-up demand for product within those businesses. Do you see kind of a forecast and spike in the B2B side there coming soon?
Yes, but then it will bring its own challenges, because currently, as of now, in the world that we are in, or on the medical, supply world, I refer, the need for the basic products that those offices are going to be using it's pretty interesting. Or the supply of the basic products these offices will need to run is pretty interesting. So it's just going to be, I'm really interested to see what will be happening in June, July with I'm talking about some basic gloves or disinfectants and, face masks and those, other PPEs. I think they will settle, that we will have enough inventory, but there's some other line of products that they still will have issues sourcing them, or I still will have issues, procuring them and getting it to the customers. So demand is definitely going to be there. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's once they open up, but getting the stuff to them is still going to be a challenging thing. So
Yeah.
partnership in the national network is going to be the key to be able to get them.
Yeah, that's a good
Need.
lead into my next question in terms of, you mentioned the partnership with Kahoot and the peer-to-peer network where you were able to optimize your supply chain performance. And your business is in the unique situation where demand is kind of outpacing supply at this point.
Correct.
But do you have any thoughts on or advice for other online merchants that are maybe not in a situation like yours, but looking for different ways to optimize supply chain performance? Do you want to have any thoughts there, Ismail?
Well, definitely, we all have to use all the recent technology that we can get. And I am so grateful that I met Kahoot. I was pretty skeptical at first point too. The idea was great. I just didn't understand how it will work in my case. But after getting on board with them, testing the products and getting everything on there, I'm so grateful that I'm on there, because I can now think, okay, Kahoot has warehouses all over the country. I'm in the West. I have stuff in the Southeast, but now I can be in the Northeast. I can be in the Midwest. I can be in the Deep South. Those areas, and as long as I don't think about, okay, I can't find this product in the West Coast. Nothing is available, but it's available in the Midwest area. I can get as much as I want of a particular line of product in Ohio. Then I don't have to worry about bringing it anywhere. I bring it into my partner's, peer-to-peer, warehouse, and I can deploy, products out of that facility to my customers in the Midwest, which I
Yeah.
already had them. So these kind of merchants looking for to in my shoes, let's say, they need to look into these kind of technologies to streamline their businesses, because we rely on the distribution partners, but when you have control on your own distribution, there is more diversification that way. What I'm trying to say is we all use the larger distributions, the networks, but we're only limited to what they allow us to do right now. But if I own the product, if I own the, virtually own the warehouse or the space, and I have the technology to ship wherever I want from that area, that gives me more agility among someone else who does not have that.
Yeah.
And so, they have to look into that. And for example, for the e-commerce, we doing the seller fulfilled prime, for example, that we don't rely on just the FBA, or we don't rely on the merchant fulfillment. Seller fulfilled prime gives us the flexibility and availability to be able to do more. And also, things are changing so rapidly. Like, I got an email from Amazon yesterday. Now they are making their customers think that, or they are making Saturday and Sunday deliver is also availability for the customers, for third-party sellers, not just for Amazon's own network, but third-party sellers, that we can promise our customers a Saturday and Sunday. So
Yeah.
using a platform, peer-to-peer platform like Kahoot, is the only way that I can promise that in East Coast, and also in West Coast, and in Midwest, or Northeast. So
Yeah, that you've given yourself options, and to your point, you're not incumbent and reliant upon the the main distributors. You've opened up your base of potential partners in the network, and then you're able to get product to your end users quicker and more cost efficiently. Correct?
exactly, that's the whole idea. Because in our world, in the e-commerce world, you can sell anything, but selling something profitable and selling it in a steady pace is the key of having a successful business. So this peer-to-peer network, Kahoot, allows me to control my cost and save my time and resources, and it's all everything is all visible too. They even send you monthly. This is how much you save. This is how much time you save. This is what you have done. So exactly your
Yeah.
point.
So then my final question, Ismail, is what areas of your business, you mentioned that the unique situation you're in right now, where the demand is so high. What areas of your business are you looking to focus on as you look to sustain that demand and that growth that you're forecasting for the business when post-pandemic, when we get into later into the year and maybe even into 2021? What are the areas as a CEO where you're focusing your attention?
Marketing I think is going to be the key for me, because again, I have a prediction that's with the given things happening, there's going to be more competition, especially in the e-commerce world, 12 months from today, because there's going to be a lot of shifts in a lot of offices. There's going to be a lot of shifts in a lot of industries. So I predict a steeper competition in the e-commerce world. That means there's going to be steeper competition in Amazon. There will be steeper competition in eBay. So marketing is going to be the key. You need to be able to be out there. Your name has to be out there in order to compensate some of the loss that you will be facing, because there's going to be more actually rods in the sea trying to fish.
Yeah.
from this thing. Because I mean, it's the human nature. Because like we've been discussing, I mean, the demand is outpacing the supply in the health world, in the medical supply world. So this will bring more, names into the, I mean, small and big and mid-size, all the sizes. There's going to be different players in the market, both for the brick and mortar, places like me or the e-commerce world, especially. So marketing is going to be my key. So 'cause the supply chain and the product, we are constantly dealing with that anyway. So those are our daily tasks right now. Can we
Yeah.
procure this? Can we get this? I mean, can we get this from here and there? Those are daily challenges, but primary focus is going to be the marketing.
Are there any particular marketing channels you've identified, whether it be social or search or affiliate or just different way? Have you looked at, had success in particular channels and looking to invest more in certain ones, or is this kind of we're going to test all these different channels and see what performs best, and then kind of provide our go from there? What's kind of what have you done so far, and where are you planning on going in terms of different channels of marketing?
So we are in initial steps of starting the portfolio of marketing channels that we will be using. So we're going to be utilizing every one of them, but the percentage of which one we will utilize is going to be depending on the return that we are getting. So direct answer to questions, I can't tell you exactly which channel we will be using most, but we have identified all the channels that we will be spending our resources, time and effort, and funds. So and as we get the feedback, as we get the results from them, and we'll see which channel that has the more return, which is the fastest return, and we will concentrate more on the resources on that and go there. Given the fact that there's, for example, everybody's spending so much time on their computers, on their phones right now, and a lot of people are spending more time on the social media. So social media is one of the fastest ways I can reach to our prospective clients. So that we will start with social media advertising more, and then wherever people are spending their time, like they're spending most of the time on Amazon or Walmart. So spending funds and resources on the marketplaces on advertising platforms are pretty important too. Depends on the product portfolio. We have to also do a good mix of if something is already moving, we don't need to spend any funds on it, but something that we want to move, that we will shift our focus on that. So there's so much to grasp how we're going to do it. So that's why we're spending a little our meeting times in the marketing. Okay, what's next? Because I see this happening in 6 to 12 months. There's going to be more players, and every time there's a new player, that something is taken away from you. Because the total, the volume of the market never changes. It's always the same. It's just you just need to stay in the same, I guess, quadrant of the pie that you're taking. So
yeah, to your point, there's likely to be more competition, but there's also more opportunity there as you try to get the the brand out there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Ismail Ozakur, who is the CEO of Oz Medical Supply, for joining me today on Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Ismail.
Thank you very much. It was delightful. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
Total Retail, in partnership with Fidel, is proud to announce the release of its latest research report, Customer Loyalty in a Fragmented Retail Market. The report offers insights into retailers' customer retention challenges, how customer data can help address that challenge, particularly data obtained in loyalty programs, and best practices for earning customer loyalty. To download your free copy of this report, go to mytotalretail.com/resources.